Okay, so mag-proceed naman tayo sa number 16 and let me just read the problem first. A man approaches a loan agency for 100,000 to be paid in 24 monthly installments. The agency advertises an interest rate of 1.5% per month, and they proceed to calculate the amount of his monthly payment in the following manner. In short, ito yung pinapropose ng agency. So, nag-request ka ng amount na 100,000 and then if I want to make sure na babayaran mo ako, so I need to have this credit investigation, credit card risk insurance. So, kabuuan nun is 1.5. So, a total of 101,500 yung simula natin na payment, no? Now, if we want to compute for the interest or the total interest within the 24 monthly installments, so ginamit lang natin yung ating simple interest which gives you 36,540. So knowing this interest, calculating yung pinaka debit mo, this gives you 138,040. Okay? And then basically kung meron tayong 24 monthly installments, let's just divide that in terms of 24 monthly installments and then that should give me 5751.67. So remember, this is actually point and not comma. So around 5,751.67 yung kailangan mong bayaran every month. Okay? So, yun yung ating interest, 1.5%. Now, the question is, what is the effective rate of interest of the loan? In short, ano ba talaga yung binabayaran natin dito sa ating loan na ito, given that we already have this annuity, okay, na 5751.67 per month, and then ito yung ating starting balance na 100,000. So, basically, ito yung ating P, and then ito yung ating A. So, if you try to do this using the formula of our annuity, we could say that for our present worth, that is equivalent to A multiplied by P given A, and then that is I percent N. Okay? And then we're actually looking for this I percent sa simula. Kasi kailangan natin ng ating interest rate to determine our effective rate of interest. Okay? And just so if you want to remember yung ating effective rate of interest, we can compute that by assuming na meron tayong 1 year na tinetake in consideration. Of course, using the discrete payment na depende sa compounding period. So anyway, let's proceed with the computation. So our P is equal to 100,000. Okay? So, ano ba yung sense nitong Ano ba itong sense nung ating pinakita na computation dito? So, basically, ito lang naman is parang, ito yung computation using the normal simple interest rate. And ganito natin siya computin based dun sa 24 equal payments, just a divisor for this one. But of course, if you want to view this as something that gives you the proper amortization schedule or annuity, then we should be using the formula for our annuity. So, kaya nyo natin gagawin and then we'll be able to determine kung ano ba yung totoong rate of interest natin. So, if we have 100,000 for the present worth, that is equal to 5,751.67. Okay? Though ito ay 0.666 na. Let's just use 0.67. And then we multiply this by the factor which is, remember, this is in the present worth, so that will be 1 minus 1 plus I. So, ngayon, I na yung ating missing variable, no? And then, how about this exponent natin dito sa ating interest rate, no? So, alam naman natin na if this is paid in monthly, kasi di ba per month to, and then monthly installments. So, remember, you can just use your number of months kung ganun. Kasi, nagkakaroon ng complement yung ating percent rate dito at saka dito. Pero, since nga, hindi naman natin alam kung ano yung certain percent of interest rate, yung makukuha natin dito is in terms of interest rate per month. Okay? And then this is divided by the interest rate which is still in subject of computation. So with this formula, okay, we will be able to obtain a value of I which is equal to 0.02758. Okay? And remember, this formula will be using this to determine the value of our effective rate of interest. So that is I sub E. This is equal to 1 plus I. Okay, remember this formula in the previous discussion. 1 plus I raised to 1 year. So that is, in this case, that is negative 12. I mean, positive 12. Kasi meron tayong 1 year, 12 months. So, monthly itong ating kinoconsider and then minus 1. Okay, so basically, ito lang naman yung formula natin for, of course, times 100%. Ito lang naman yung formula natin for effective rate of interest. Now, this value, it depends on the computation that you're doing. Since my I is dependent on the interest rate, diba? Ito yung interest rate per month. So, therefore, I have to make sure na yung ating N would be converted in terms of months. So, therefore, kung 1 year ang ating equivalent, then that should be 12 months. So, remember, ang effective rate of interest, so this translates to 1 year lagi. So, remember that. So anyway, with this, I sub is equal to 1 plus 0.02758, okay? Then raised to 12 and then minus 1 times 100%, okay? So this should give you a value of the effective rate of interest, which is equal to 38.6023%. Okay? So this is your final answer for this problem. Okay? So ano yung sense nung naunang ginawa? Again, ang ginawa lang dyan is pinag-compare lang natin so that we can give you, or the agency can give you a certain annuity na dapat mong bayaran every monthly installment that you should be doing. Pero the true interest rate that you're actually paying is this one. Not actually this effective rate kasi this is just 1 year for the effectivity. But this one, yung ating interest rate, that is 2.758%. Now, you should be expecting na this interest rate that we have obtained using annuity formula would be greater than the one that we obtained from the simple interest rate. Kasi basically, kung simple interest rate lang, hindi natin na-account yung mga value na supposedly is increasing still until it is not yet paid. So, yun yung effect ng ating interest rate, given we need to compare that with respect to the formula of interest rate using your annuity. But then again, the same formula, the same concept, just annuity having our I, and then yung I convert natin in terms of effective rate of interest, considering meron tayong interest rate per month. Now, kung halimbawa, meron tayong interest rate per, let's say, semi-annually, so that is interest rate per 6 months. So you should be using your I, something like I over 2 and then 2 times raised to how many years. So, therefore, kung halimbawa, semi-annual yung ating I, so kunwari lang, interest rate, semi-annual. Therefore, itong 12, magiging ano na yan, hindi yan 12 kundi 2. But what if the interest rate is given in terms of 1 year or per year? So, therefore, itong exponent na to, which is 12, this just becomes 1, which typically means na kung ano yung interest rate mo na makukuha is yun na rin yung interest, effective rate of interest, because that's basically the interest rate per year. Okay? So, yun naman yung goal ng effective rate of interest, to show you kung ano ba talaga yung totoong interest rate kapag kinoconsider natin is just 1 year period. Okay, so I think that's all for this number 16. Let's head to number 17. A new office building was constructed 5 years ago by a consulting engineering firm. At the time, the firm obtained the bank loan for 10 million with a 20% annual rate of interest compounded quarterly. The terms of the loan called for equal quarterly payments for a 10-year period with the right of prepayment at any time without penalty. Due to an internal change in the firm, it is now proposed to refinance the loan through an insurance company. The new loan is planned for a 20-year term with an interest rate of 24% per annum compounded quarterly. The insurance company has a one-time service charge of 5% of the balance. The new loan also calls for equal quarterly payments. There are two questions for this problem, and the first one is, what is the balance due on the original mortgage if all payments, or the principal if all payments have been made through the full 5 years? Now, I think the best way here is to compare siguro yung ating nangyari before and then yung mga sunod na refinancing due to the current situation, no? So I think we need to do the cash flow diagram first on the 5 years ago. So let's have here 5 years ago. So for this, we have R is equal to 20%, and then that is M is equal to 4 kasi quarterly tayo payments. And then term of the loan is called for 10-year period. So this payment would be done, okay, from 0 to 10 years. So kung compound ito quarterly, basically every payment natin would be done for equal quarterly payments. So, parang meron tayong 40 payments, no? Kasi kung quarterly to, we do this every 3 months, no? Yung payment natin. So, we can have, supposedly, meron tayong mga payments around here. Okay? Siguro, I think I'll be deleting this just to show you what could be our payments na kailangan gawin in this process of paying. So, yun yung loan natin, 10 million. Then, you have to expect na you'll be paying for this. Okay? So, yun yun. And then, basically, nag-start tayo sa 0 kasi ito yung time na nag-loan tayo. And then, yung first quarter would be the first payment natin. So, basically, meron tayong 1, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and then, di ba, fourth quarter para maging 1 year. Now, we will be having a time skip here. Okay? And then, let's have their payments like 39, 40. So, basically, ganito yung, yung supposed cash flow natin diagram. Let's have here 39 and then 40. So, ito yun yung supposedly cash flow natin 5 years ago. Now, due to internal changes, medyo mababago ating cash flow. So, i-refinance natin yung loan through an insurance company. So, new loan ngayon is planned for 20 years na. So, instead of 10 years, ito kasi is 10-year period kasi for this, diba, this is 1 year. Okay? So, at the end of this would be 10 years. Now, by refinancing, we have, let's say, nasa ba yun? 20 years term and then with an interest rate of 24% per annum compounded quarterly. Pero ano nga ba yung mga nabayaran natin before? So again, this was constructed 5 years ago and we could take this internal changes in terms of 5 years ago. So basically, starting from today, assuming na 5 years ago yung nangyari, so I will be applying the new system. So with this, sabi, 20 years na to, so today, we could say na yung ating cash flow would be gawa tayo ng ganyan, no? So, we will be having, syempre may bago na rin tayong mga payment period. So, let's have here. Siguro, ibahin natin yung, yung length. Kunwari lang, no? Although we do not know kung mas malaki binabayad natin or mas maliit, no? But I think, mas malaki to kasi 20 year na yung term natin, no? So, pero siya is compounded quarterly pa rin. So, 24% per annum and then quarterly payments pa rin naman siya. So basically, every 3 months pa rin siya binabayaran. Pero meron tayong ibang R, which is in this case, yung R natin is actually 24%. Before kasi, yung ating R is equal to 20%. Yan. Okay, M is equal 4. So, M is equal to 4. So, same lang din naman. 24% lang. Now, extend natin to 20, no? And then, the insurance company has at one time service charge of 5% of the balance. So, meron pa tong service charge na 5% of the balance. Ito yung medyo magpapakomplicate sa atin, no? Kasi meron pa siyang 5% of the balance. Okay? So, ano ba yung, yung magiging service charge din na ating i-incorporate dito sa atin? So, what is the balance due on the original mortgage if all payments have been made through a full 5 years? Una natin gagawin dito for A is compute lang natin muna kung ano yung ating parang kailangan pang bayaran dito. Original, muna tayo, original setting. So, yung A, this is actually the cash flow for A kasi wala naman tayo pang binabago eh. Sa letter B kasi yung tanong, what will be the difference? So, this will be for B and then this will be for A. Just, kinuha ko lang to kasi para mapakita sa inyo yung cash flow difference natin. So, for A, remember, to be able to determine this, na parang kagaya to nung isang number natin na ginawa, we need to determine yung ating indebtedness kapag natapos na natin yung full 5 years. So, that is, this is 1 year, okay? So, kung magta-time skip ako dito somewhere here, alam natin na yung tinutukoy natin dito is 25th year. Actually, 20th period mo. Kasi, di ba, kung meron kang 4 year, kung meron kang 4 equal quarterly payments for 1 year, and then we need to consider yung full 5 years, and therefore, meron tayong nagawang 20 payments. Okay? So, we can just find muna yung ating annuity. And ano ba yung annuity na supposedly dapat natin binabayaran? We can just take this annuities or yung ating mga quarterly payments to the present. Okay? And then just to evaluate this annuity. Okay? Kasi diba yun yung ating first step lagi. We need to make this, parang, we need to equate the expression in terms of yung ating reference point. So, in this case, ang pinakamadali nating reference would be the present kasi yun yung ating loan. Okay, anyway, pwede naman natin dalhin to the 20th period. Pero, syempre, we have to consider, or to the 40th period. Pero, syempre, I think that will be more difficult kasi mag-incorporate pa tayo dito ng interest rate which dagdag computation. So, we could say that if this is your P, that is equal to 10 million, we could say that P is equal to A quantity P given A and then I percent N, which gives us the value that is 10 million is equal to the annuity, okay, times 1 minus 1 plus the interest rate is actually 20%, so that is 0.2, and then divide by M, that is 4, and then how many years ba ito babayaran? So 10 years and then times 4, so that's 40, negative 40. Okay, so ganyan lang naman lagi for present, and then divide natin ito ngayon sa interest, which is 0.2 over 4. Well, basically, ito yung annual interest rate natin na kinoconsider na, pero we have to make sure that the discrete payment would be converted in terms of the number of periods times the year. So, upon evaluation of this expression, we could say na the answer for this problem would give us the annuity. And in this case, yung ating annuity, doon ko nasusulat, no? The annuity would be equal to 582,000, okay? 582,781.6117, okay? So, baka magtaka kayo bakit sobrang laki niyan. Pero, yun talaga siya kasi the 20% annual interest rate is quite large. So, you can always try to check that, no? Kasi imagine kung meron kayong 20% annual rate of interest. So, agad-agad yung parang kailangan yung bayaran would be something like may 20% ka na agad na sa 10 million. So, medyo malaki yon. Kung try kong computin, so around 2 million agad yung additional expense. Mas parang basically ganun yung pwede mo agad ma-imagine na dagdag bayad. Kaya medyo malaki agad ang annuity mo. Imagine yung binabayaran mo every quarterly payment would be 582,781.6117, and yung binayaran mo 10 million lang. So basically, kung imagine mo after 20 payments, you should have paid all of it na. Kasi actually lang. Tama. Kasi kung 2 payments would be 1 million, so kung 10 million, that would be 20 payments. So, ganun kalaki yung pataw ng annual interest rate. Pero, hindi man yun importante dito. Importante is, malaman natin kung ano ba yung natira pa na balance natin. So, kung balance at balance lang din, we have to make sure na we determine kung ano ba yung total na nabayad natin sa 20th period. And then, let's try to project this loan to the 20th period. And then, we can also determine na yung ating indebtedness. Pero, syempre, we have to take all of these payments to the 20th period. So, right, I'll be using another color just to make this different setting na. So, in 10 million, natin siya sa 20th payment as well as all your payments to that 20th period. Okay? And then, we'll try to check on the difference, and then that should be your remaining balance na brought about by the original condition. So, therefore, I could say na ito muna, itong ating 10 million, dun sa 20th payment, it would be 1 plus 0.20 over 4 raised to 20. Okay, so ito na yung magiging value niya. And if you try to compute for this, this would be equal to 2 million. Tama ba? 2 million ba to? Actually, 26 million pala to. 26,532,977.05. Tignan nyo, napakalaki na niya after 20 period, no? Or 20 quarterly payments. Now, this amount, we need to subtract this kung ano ba yung magiging amount natin in the point of reference of the 20th period, yung mga binayad natin. So basically, using this annuity, we have 582,000. So hindi ko nasusulat yung formula ha. I hope ano nyo na, tandaan nyo na. So with this, dadali natin siya sa future. So we'll be using the future worth factor here. So that's annuity times 1, or I'll be using the bracket. So 1 plus 0.2 over 4 raised to 20, okay, 20 minus 1 divided by 0.2 over 4, okay. So with this, the answer gives us a value of 19,270,230.02, okay. So with this, we try to take the difference between these two values, no, na obtained from the same reference point. It's just that we incorporate kung siya is payment or loan. So upon subtraction, this should give us a balance of 7,262,000, okay, 747.031. Okay, so this is your balance that is not yet paid. So yun yung balance na hindi pa natin nababayaran. So we can just box this para alam natin na this is our answer for letter A. So para saan ba yung next paragraph na to? By the way, yung nasa inyo is hindi ko alam kung nasabi ko na, yung 17, 18 yun. So magkadugtong kasi yan eh. Walang sense kung 17 lang, walang tanong dyan. Anyway, so ano ba yung sense ng second paragraph? So ito, it will be used for this letter B. Kasi ang gagawin natin is, what will be the difference between the equal quarterly payments in the existing agreement and the revised proposal? So therefore, ang kino-consider is, I need to find the new annuity that I'll be using. So dito kasi, this one is the original. So this is very important in our computation kasi i-consider natin yung ating annuity na original. Now, to determine yung bago nating annuity, we will be recomputing for our cash flow diagram. Kasi alam naman natin na yung magiging principal natin would be the one that is the balance, no? Balance plus yung 5% charge, 'di ba? Kasi alangan namang gawin natin is mag-start ulit tayo sa 10 million, so sobrang unfair naman sa company. So with this, and sinabi naman dyan na magre-refinance tayo after 5 years. I mean, now na nakalipas na yung 5 years. So with this, kung ano lang yung balance mo na nabayaran, it makes sense na yun lang yung gagamitin mo for the new present worth that you'll be incorporating. So with this, let's compute for our P first. So alam naman natin na yung P natin would be the original balance, that is 7,262,747.031, and then we need to incorporate yung ating 5% service charge, which is dependent on the original additional balance na kailangan mo pang bayaran. Kasi sabi dito 5% of the balance. So that is we incorporate yung ating 5% of the balance, or you could just multiply this to 1.05, so that we will be obtaining yung ating starting amount for the new plan. Okay, and this will give us a value of 7,625,000. Okay, that is 884.38. Okay, so I hope nag-guess nyo kung saan siya nanggaling, no? It's just that you have to, meron pa pala, 383. 3 decimal na natin. Lagyan natin ng comma dito para kita nyo ng maigi. So therefore, yung ating loan, so ang gawin natin, since yung loan natin nirepresent natin dito na pataas, so ganun din gawin natin dito. Pero it's just that this is the new loan naman na you still have to pay. And then itong mga arrow down na to, ito yung mga payments mo, but this should be extending up until yung 20th na 20th, but 20 year, ganun, kasi before 10 years lang. So I think I'll be doing some time skip here, and then just don't mind yung length ng araw natin kasi hindi talaga kasya dito sa ating space. So with this, yung P natin is this value. Hindi ko na susulat, no, basta this is your value, 7,625,884.383. And then we will try to do amortization or annuity dito. Kailangan natin ma-equate, mahanap natin yung A. So simple lang naman ang paghahanap ng A, but we have to make sure na ano ba yung natitira pa ditong years. So yung new loan, since 20 years siya, alam naman natin na we could start by 0 and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Pero if we do time skip and then meron tayong 20-year period, we could say na this is 80, di ba? 79 and then 80. So ito yung quarterly payments mo. Okay? So sa loob ng 4 quarterly payments, meron kang parang 1 year, di ba? Okay? And what is your annuity in this case? So, alam niyo naman siguro yung formula for annuity using our present word. So, we will be having P is equal to A, and then we have P given A, that is I%, and then N. So, yung ating P is 7,765,884.383, and then this is equated to your annuity, which is unknown. And then, ano ba yung ating mga factors dito? So, we have 1 minus 1 plus, ano ngayon yung ating bagong interest rate? So, sabi dito, the nominal is 0.24. And then, we divide this by 4 kasi compounded tayo quarterly. And then, how many payments ba ang kailangan nating pagbayaran? So, we have 20 years. And then, for each year, meron tayong quarterly payments. So, times 4. So, that becomes negative 4 times 20. Okay? Then, divide this by 0.24 over 4. Okay, now this gives us a value of 461,000. So we have 461,919.1942. So that is our new value for our annuity. Okay, and siguro naman it makes sense na if we need to find the difference between the equal quarterly payments, let's name this A1 now. A1, and then this one is A2. Okay? Just to indicate na ito yung original and then this is your new annuity. So, ngayon, actually, mas bumaba na siya, no? Kasi, well, technically, bababa talaga siya kasi bayad na nga pala yung ating 5 years na. So, kailangan siya pa rin bumabayad. Now, the question is the difference, not this annuity. So, we have to make sure na we subtract this A1 minus A2 to obtain the difference. So, by subtracting, we will be able to obtain the value of our difference, which is D, that is equal to 12, I think, hindi pala 12, 120,862.4175 pesos. Okay? So, yun. Nga pala sa mga exams, if ever may problem set, so make sure na you add peso sign dun sa final answer. Okay lang naman sa mga along computation walang lagay kasi hindi pa naman yung final answer. Pero make sure dun sa final answer meron tayong unit kasi it is as important as your unit for metric system or SI units sa mga English units natin. No? Okay, so after all, we're still engineering students, so we have to make sure na you incorporate yung ating mga appropriate value units rather. Anyway, so yan yung difference. I'm hoping na naintindihan niyo yung ating nangyari, no? So ulitin natin simula. Nung A is nag-compute tayo ng balance, yun talaga yung goal natin for letter A. And then for B, yung natirang balance with the addition of the 5% service charge, we'll be using that for our reference as the new loan. And then we'll try to do our annuity. So ang mangyayari lang dyan, parang dinala natin yung ating not dinala, but just compute for your annuity based on the new principal value, which is your 7,625,884. And then yung magiging sagot natin, pagsusubtrakin natin dun sa ating original annuity, okay? And that the difference would be yung tinatanong sa letter B. Okay, so in short, mas mababa na yung ating binabayaran kasi 461,000 na lang. Kasi before, that should be 582,000 lagi binabayaran natin. And syempre, pag sinabi annuity equal quarterly payments yan. So kahit matagal ka na nagbabayad, ganun pa rin yan. Maganda sana kung habang tumatagal, bumababa yung binabayaran mo. Pero wala namang ganun plan parang lagi siyang equal payments. And of course, mas mahirap siyang computin. So anyway, at least dito sa bagong proposal, nakita natin na mas kumonti yung binabayaran natin. And I'm hoping na siguro yung benefit nito would be much mas maganda, pero for this case kasi hindi natin ma-evaluate yung benefit niya kasi that would be reserved for the semis or final topics na we have. So yun lang yun, and the rest is just for this certain scenario na meron tayong difference ng 2 annuities. Okay. Now, let's move forward sa next number, which is number 18. Now, for number 18, paki-correct na lang dun sa inyong mga handout. That should be, yung number 19, that should be number 18 lang. Now, let me just read the problem first bago natin solve ito, no? So, a man wishes to provide a fund for his retirement such that from his 60th to 70th birthdays, he will be able to withdraw equal sums of 18,000 for his yearly expenses. He invests an equal amount for his 41st to 59th birthdays in fund earning 10% compounded annually. How much should each of these amounts be? Okay, so in short, dun sa ating problem, pag binasa natin, ang gusto niya lang naman is makakuha siya ng certain value that is equal to 18,000, okay, from 60th to 70th birthday niya, no? So, yun 18,000 for, kasi pa siguro gusto niya magbayad for his yearly expenses ng mga something, no? Anyway, so wala tayong concern doon. Ang concern natin is to do this cash flow, no? Remember, dito sa problem na to, it states na nagkaroon lang siya ng dalawang payments, no? Equal payments for his 41st to 59th birthday. So, the best method here na we can do is to represent yung ating mga birthday as our, time interval. Kasi that's the best option kasi dito kasi meron tayong 41st, 59. So basically, pag ginawa natin yung birthday niya, yung ating point of reference, mas madali natin makikita kung kailan siya nagbayad. Okay, so starting from 0, so ito yung mga toddler pa siya, no? Yung mga pa siya, mga cells pa siya, no? Babago pa siyang ginagawa. Anyway, so 0 and then 1, 2, and then let's start with his 40, so 40, no? And then dun sa 41st birthday niya, nag-invest siya. So basically, arrow down. Okay? Nag-invest siya. Okay? And then let's have some di ba 42 dito, so hindi naman siya nag-invest, and let's just have some time skip. Okay? So let's do 58. Okay, and then 59. So meron tayong 58, and then yung 59 nag-invest uli siya ng same amount. Okay, so hopefully nakikita niyo yung ating cash flow. So sa 41st birthday niya, nag-invest siya 59%, nag-invest siya, so kaya yung ating arrow is arrow down. Okay, and then yung I natin here, you can just write here 10% compounded annually, so M would be equal to 1. Okay, and then sabi dito, starting from its 60th birthday, so 60 and then up until 70. Hindi natin sure kung ba't hanggang 70 lang kasi dapat perpetuity ito para lagi siya nakakuha. Pero since 70, baka in-expect na dedo na siya 71. Anyway, 60, 61, 62, time skip tayo, 69, and then 70. Okay. So, let's have arrow up para sa mga nakukuha niya, no? So, 60, dito tayo 60, mag-start, okay? And then 61, 62. So, i-assume natin na this is at the end of his birthday, parang ganon. Okay, so yan, lagay pa natin sa dito para maganda. Anyway, so 63rd. Okay, so this is basically the cash flow diagram of his lifetime. Okay, and then I think we can write something like A here that is equal to 18,000. And basically the question is, what is this amount, no? That he has to invest. So basically, kung i-represent natin yung amount as P, we could just say na itong P dito is the same as this P value. P value nito, statistics. Anyway, so P. And then, how do we determine the value of this P? Okay? So the easiest way that we can deal with this is to take a reference point. And I'm thinking na yung reference point would be the with this 59th birthday. Pwede yun. Or we could just do 41st birthday. So whichever is most applicable to you, you can use that. But just to spice things up, yun, I'll be using 59 para nasa gitna naman. No? Well, you can do the cash flow in a point of reference dun sa pinakaunang payment niya, which is the 41st birthday. Just make sure na you do this arrow going to the present. Present, ganun. So, pwede yon. for the pinakaunang payment, 41st birthday reference. Now, pwede mo rin gawin is the future. So, you can bring all of this to the future. That is the 70th birthday niya. And you make sure na dadalhin mo rin to sa 70th birthday. So, ito, dadalhin mo rin siya sa 70th birthday. So, lahat dadalhin sa 70th. Which, kung gagawin nyo, parang tatlo gagawin natin, no? Pero kung halimbawa, pumili tayo ng either this present one or this 41st or 59th, dalawa lang yung gagawin natin. So, I'll be choosing either one of this, pero para medyo may thrill, so gawin natin is dito. Okay, and then dito tayo. Okay, so basically meron na tayong same reference point, and let's try to compute for the values of our P. By the way, I'll just have to correct this pala. Kasi from this sentence, for his 41st to 59th birthday pala yun. So we have to incorporate na naglalagay pala siya ng ng annual payments actually dito. So hindi talaga siya dalawang lang pala, which is pala from 41st to 59. Buti lang napansin ko to. So equal amounts for his 41st to 59. Akala ko to and so yun. Careful din kayo dun minsan kasi yan, nagkamali ako dun. So 41st to 59. Kasi kung dalawa lang to, edi mamali tayo dapat ng computation. So let's compute for this. Again, we'll be using the 59th birthday reference natin. So let's start by having the equation. So from these annual payments natin na we're doing from 41st to 59, ilang years ba yun? So if you try to compute from 59 going to 41, we could say na that is 59 minus 41 plus 1. So therefore, with this, yung ating n would be equal to 19. Okay? And how about this one? So if we try to compute for this from 70 minus 60 plus 1, so therefore, we could say that n is equal to 11. Okay? So yun lang naman yun, 11 years and saka 19 years. And if you try to add that, so that should be around 30 years. Tama. Kasi 70 minus 41. Okay, 70 minus 41 would give us, I think, 29 plus 1. So that gives us exactly 30 years. Okay. So the formula would be something like this, no? Kung ito yung re-reference natin, di ba dapat mag-equate silang dalawa? So from this, we know that every value na nilagay natin is P. So we have P times yung ating multiplier na P given A, pero dito is P din. So, hindi ko na siya susulat kasi malilito lang kayo dun sa natin sa designation ng letter. So, that is P. And then, times natin sa using our future. So, that is 1 plus 0.1 kasi 10% annual interest na siya. So, raise natin to. So, ilang period ba yon? So, that is 19. Okay, so that is 19 minus 1 divided by 0.1. Okay, so this is your P and this should be equated to sa sa lahat ng mga dapat mong ma-receive in the future. So that is 18,000 kasi diba 18,000 yung nakukuha natin, and then ito is pabalik from this 59th period. So this gives us something like 1 minus kasi pabalik tayo ng annuity. So that is 1 plus 0.1 raised to negative 11 divided by 0.1. Okay, now I have to emphasize again na yung inyong pagbibilang ng years whenever you have a birthday celebration, ganun. So parang birthday niya mismo yung kino-compute mo. You subtract that 2, parang end period tsaka starting period, then you add 1. So laging ganun yung ating computation. Para siyang yung sa statistics yung pagko-compute ng ito yung pag nag-interval tayo yon, pag nag-interval. Kung the number of intervals tas plus 1, so 'di ba ganun nagko-compute lagi. Anyway, so with that, that should give us a value that is equal to yung ating mga supposedly dapat ibabayad every year starting from your 31st birthday. So I think the answer would be 2,285. So 2285.2458. Okay, so this is your final answer for this problem. Now, I think for me, hindi na yun masama, no? Kung kayo 41 years old and then kung mabay ka ng 2.2k per year, and then sure ball na yun, from your 60th birthday to 70th birthday, makakaroon ka ng 18,000. a year. Though sobrang konti lang ng 18,000 a year, no? Siguro kung nabubuhay ka mag-isa, siguro kaya naman yung 18,000. Pero siguro sa panahon ngayon, parang hindi na rin yun, hindi yun kaya mabuhay ka ng 1 year kasi imagine, load mo pa lang sa sa mga expenses mo sa mga tubig, kuryente, medyo marami na ganyan. So I think that is just a little amount for someone. Pero anyway, yun yung problem natin ba't pinapakalma natin yung buhay nung nung lalaki dito. It's just that ang goal natin sa mag-compute lang, hindi tayo mag-comment sa kanilang lifestyle. And if hindi natin napansin, halimbawa, nagets nyo lang is 41st to 5th and 59th birthday. So basically, dalawa lang yan. No? This annuity will not be used, but instead, we'll try to project this one P. And then we'll be using yung compound factor natin. So P times 1 plus, I think that will be 1 plus 0.1 raised to 19 and then plus X. Okay? Or 18, parang ganon. Depende. So, kung ilan ba yung pinag-subtract natin. And then plus P. Not X, but plus P. So, the answer would give you the value of your P, which is expected to have a very large value, no? So, pwedeng ganun yung mangyayari sa atin if di natin napansin tong no? Kasi yan parang you try to project kung hanggang saan ka nag-end. And then basically, just count the time interval that you have, no? So, kung 59 and then minus 40, that's around 18 lang. Supposedly, parang 18 lang talaga yun, no? And then, paplasan mo lang siya ng X. Dito kasi, kaya 19 siya, since kasama naman yung P dito, which is basically dun siya nag-end. So, kailangan mo siyang isama, no? And then, dito is, kaya siya nag 11. 70 minus 60 is just 10. Pero, syempre, kita nyo naman tong interval na to. That's 11, parang ganon. Okay? So, yun lang. And then, let's proceed to number 19, which is number 20 in your handout.